Welcome back, everyone, to a new What If. Now, I'm sorry, guys, I've been making up these new ideas. I just had been what I'm trying to say is a lot of ideas bring into my mind. I have no choice but to make them. My brain just tells me to do this. So, this What If shall be known as What If Deku was a dragon. Here we go. We start off with a young green-haired boy who desperately wanted to become a hero. He wakes up one day on his 4th birthday. He cannot wait. As he goes downstairs to see birthday balloons, a birthday cake, and even presents for him, his mother greets him with glee, saying, "Izuku, happy birthday!" As this young green-haired boy, Izuku Midoriya, is surprised at this and goes in for a hug for his mother while saying, "Thank you, Mommy." I hate doing childish voices. They destroy it. Sorry. As he is opening his presents first, because I don't know, I just thought most of it was All Might's related stuff, like a new action figure, blankets. Is that normal, getting blankets on a birthday? Well, I mean, I get blankets on a birthday. Anyway, and yeah. And the final present was something special. It was a plane ticket to visit his grandfather, Jake Long Midoriya. As Izuku says, "Wait, I'm gonna see Grandpa?" As Inko says, "Wait, that's not it." As Izuku opens the other box next to the plane ticket to his grandpa's home, and the other ticket, well, it was basically a card to sign for a doctor's office. As Izuku jumps in joy while saying, "I'm gonna visit the quirk doctor." As Inko says, "Right you are, Izuku, right you are." As, yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, yeah. They get into the car, and Izuku's buckling his seatbelts. Cannot wait to visit the quirk doctor and his grandpa on the same day. Well, if you can. As they are on the way to the hospital, Izuku notices something strange. There was something up with a shop nearby. That one umbrella looked like as if it were alive, but it moved too quick for him to notice, so he just brushed it off. As they entered into the hospital, they show their doctor's permit. Basically, they go in to visit the doctor. Many quirk tests were, tested on Izuku. And I'm sorry if that sounds like mad scientist stuff. Anyway, after the quirk tests were done, the doctor came with some strange news. As Izuku and Inko sit on the chairs excitedly, Izuku holding his new limited edition All Might figurine, as the doctor took off his goggles and said, "Ma'am, your son is a 0-pointer. Oh, sorry. Forget I said that. Said, your son is 1%. As Inko says, 1%? What's that? As Izuku's confused at this. As the doctor pulls up a picture of his foot, which showed a quirked toe. Yeah, no, well, basically, he has either the joint or doesn't. Basically, he has a quirked person's toe, but he doesn't have a quote-unquote quirk. It's a bit of a tricky situation. So, Izuku believes that he has a quirk, but the doctors say no. As Izuku says, well, I don't care. I'm still gonna be a hero. Slightly tearing up a bit, thinking, am I really quirkless? As Inko says, come on, Izuku. You don't want to keep your grandpa waiting. As he says, oh, coming, Mom. As they get in the car, as they get it to the airport and they meet, what's that person called? The person that assigns you for the plane. You know, I'm just gonna call it plane person, yeah. Sorry, but the plane person says, oh, you're the Midoriyas? As Inko says, exactly. We're here to visit my dad's father. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Inko says, yep, we're here to see my husband's father. As Izuku says, and also my grandpa. As the plane person, yeah, said, aw, that's nice. As they get signed in, they go on the plane, and it's all the way in America. I believe it took about, I'm gonna say that since in the My Hero Academia universe, technology has improved like crazy, I'm gonna say it took 12 hours to get to America from all the way to Japan. Trust me, I've been on a plane, but I've never been to America than Japan. I live in Wales, for Pete's sake. So right in the middle. But, back to the story. As they get in the car, Izuku sees his dad at the airport waiting for them. As he says, Dad! As Hisashi turns around and says, Izuku. As they both come in for a hug. And he says, wow, look how big you've grown. As Izuku says, yeah, I'm gonna be a hero. As Inko asks Sashi to have some private time. as they go into a spot where Izuku would be safe, but they would have private time. She tells Hisashi that Izuku is a 1% person, as Hisashi's confused by this. That's strange. What's that? As Inko basically gives the note that the doctor gave them. Did I mention the note? Oh yeah, I forgot. The note. Yeah, let's just say back at the doctor's office, the doctor gave Inko a note to tell all about this 1% quirk thing. As Hisashi reads this and says, so there's a possibility Izuku might be quirkless, but that would break him. As Inko says, yeah, but there's a possibility that he'll have a quirk. So, I just don't want to see him upset. As Izuku says, Mom, Dad, what you talking? As they just jump and say, nothing. Let's get over to Grandpa's. As Izuku jumps with joy while saying, yeah, get to meet Grandpa. As Hisashi drives them in his car, and when they make it to a strange part of America, Izuku notices a tower that's something odd about it. There appear to be stone statues of something related to a gargoyle, but one of them appears to move, as if shaking off pigeons. Izuku rubs his eyes again, and the gargoyle freezes, Izuku thinking that it was all a hallucination. They get to their... Izuku gets to his grandpa's house, and Hisashi knocks on the door. An old man with a beard and blackish gray hair comes out while saying, now who is it? Ah, son, how's it been? As Hisashi says, been great, Dad. As oh no. Did anyone else hear that? I don't know. For a second I thought something broke outside. Well, we do have a lot of balloons here, and I did take one up, so maybe one of them popped and... Yeah, a balloon popped. Anyway. Where was I? Oh yeah, back to the story. As the old man looks down to see his new grandson, as he says, new addition to the family. As Hisashi says, Grandpa, have you been taking your medicines? As Hisashi says, Dad, have you been taking your medicines? As this man says, bah, medicines? Who needs those? As he says, well, now who might you be? As this small boy says, I'm Izuku. As the old man says, well, I am Jake Midoriya Long, but please call me Grandpa. As they enter into the house, it's a bit of a combination between Japanese and American stuff, but it's mostly filled with dragon statues from all different kinds of cultures. As Izuku is exploring the house, he's strangely drawn to the dragons there. But in the other room, Hisashi and Inko are telling Izuku's grandfather that he's a 1% person, as Izuku's grandpa says, a bit like how I was. And so was my grandpa. As a thought clicks into his head, he must be the next dragon. As he shakes this and says, now come on, let's go have some delicious coffee. As Izuku, we cut back to Izuku. He's exploring the attic somehow. Yeah, it's one of those houses where the staircase leads up to the attic. And yeah, Izuku is exploring the dusty old attic, trying to figure out where he is. He bumps into a strange box. It's like a chest of sorts. As he finds something laying next to the box, a key. He decides to use it on the chest, and it opens up with a strange purple box with golden legs to it. As Izuku wonders what it does, he opens it and a flurry of light comes from it, specifically green light. As Izuku's hair is all messed up because of it, he closes the box and puts it back in because no one likes bright lights. I'm telling you, they hurt. Anyway, Izuku goes down back to the living room where his parents and his grandpa was to see them drinking tea. As Izuku asks his grandpa that can they talk in another room, like the kitchen? As his grandpa says, so you visited the attic. As Izuku says, what? No. As his grandpa says, don't worry, you're not in trouble. In fact, you're very brave. Most kids your age are scared of the attic. In fact, when I was older than you, about 10 years old, I was still scared to go in the attic. As he tells a story about one time he encountered a rat, like a big rat in the attic. As he's in the middle of the story, then I swung my stick at it, poking it as well. And then as he goes in to stretch his back cracks, as in, my back, my sweet Lord back. As Hisashi says, Dad, I told you not to pull your back. As he tries helping his grandpa. As something's up with his eyes. They were more like dragon's eyes. As Izuku's grandpa, or Jake, I'll be calling him. Don't worry, your dad's been through worse. Yeah. As Hisashi says, Dad, even though you've retired from hero work, you don't have to admit that you were once a hero. In fact, people still got your posters. Like, oh boy, I was young and spry. Why did my voice change from American to, like, Texan? Anyway, yeah, his grandpa allows him to sleep in for 2 nights. After 2 nights are done, I'm sorry if this is getting too quick. It's time for them to leave. As Izuku says bye to his grandpa and bye to his dad when they're at the airport. As Sasashi's waving to them goodbye, as he asks Jake, his grandpa, not grandpa, why do I keep saying grandpa? His dad says, hey Dad, are you? And then he just sees him gone. As he says, oh no. As when Izuku and Inko are taking off, as Izuku's watching through the window, he sees a reddish, European-esque dragon with a similar hair color to him, but more gray. As he says, what the? Mom, why is there a dragon outside? As Inko turns to see from Izuku's window the dragon that was looking at Izuku. This dragon's about the same size as the plane, lengthwise. As Inko's a wee bit scared from this dragon. As Izuku feels a weird connection with this dragon. As this red dragon goes over to the plane door and knocks it while saying, can I come in? As the person at the door decides to open it, like, they think this dragon is a villain and it's going to eat them. So they want a quick and swift death. But instead, what comes in the plane is an old man with a walking stick. And the woman says, wait, you were the and as she's about to say dragon, the elderly man says, treat your elders with respect, young lady, whacking her with the walking stick. As he says, by the way, it's very cold up here. You better close the door. As she does, as Izuku's grandpa walks over to Izuku and says, young boy, would you like to have a ride with me? As Izuku's like amazed that his grandpa is basically a person with a dragon quirk. Not really. He says yes, just for fun. As his grandpa makes sure Izuku's okay. Inko bringing a makeshift seatbelt along while saying, now remember, keep him safe. And Izuku's grandpa says, Safe is my middle name. And as a random guy said, oh, okay. As Izuku's grandpa said, now who talked to you, young man? Her. As he's about to exit out of the door, as he asks, ready, grandson? As Izuku says, ready as I'll ever be, Grandpa. As they're about to jump, as Izuku says, wait, not really, not this fast. And then they plummet to the earth. As Izuku's grandpa turns into the dragon the size of a plane. As Izuku's holding on for dear life. As Izuku's grandpa said, you know what, you're kind of just like me. As Izuku says, what do you mean? Without that box, just feel as if you're flying through the air as I am. Feel weightless, feel powerful at the same time. As Izuku decides to close his eyes and follows his grandpa's advice, as he feels stranger now, a bit bigger, and his hands feel like they've grown in size, as he says, now let go. As Izuku's still closing his eyes, talking to his grandpa, but I'll fall! As his grandpa says, no, you won't. Don't worry, I'll catch you if you fall. As Izuku just lets go, and he feels weightless. As he opens his eyes that he's in the clouds, he looks down to see his legs are like that of a hawk's feet. He has a long snake-like tail, and he checks at his arms, which are not where the places usually are. Instead, his arms are turned into wings. As everyone on the plane noticing this, Inko's in shock. Everyone's also in shock. His grandpa says, I knew it's another dragon in the family. As Izuku says, what? Another dragon? I need an explanation. As as Izuku's grandpa says, not now, Izuku. Not now, until you get home. I'll be talking to you later. As he heads back to the way of America. Izuku, not knowing how to turn back, he says, wait, how do I turn back? As his grandpa yells, well, you have to figure that out yourself. It also skips a generation. As Izuku gulps in fear, and he basically does not know how to turn in flight. So he just waits for the plane to get by and just clings on. As he's waiting for the plane comes towards him, and he enters in through the doorway, hopping like that of a crow. As he's trying to walk through the amount of people, but everyone's taking pictures of him for some reason. Well, there is a reason, because they just saw a little boy turn into a wyvern with a snake-like neck and bird talons. As Izuku is back to his mother's side, Inko asks if Izuku's okay. Izuku says, yeah, Mom, never felt better. But I want to know something. What does Grandpa mean by another dragon in the family? Now, this is where I have to leave it off, guys. I'm sorry if this thing's too short and rushed. I want to get to bed. Anyway, make sure to like and subscribe if you want more. Hit the bell notification to be notified for more videos. Am I hearing things? Nah.